see the prejudice. When I'd come around, people would step back or wouldn't listen. And a couple times I had to chew out even our own caucus because of what they grew up with, what they learned about Native Americans, which had no truth to it. We're just human, just like them. We love, we feel, just like everybody else. We have a voice. And we took part in redistricting. Alfred Boneshirt and Elaine Quiver and myself. I would do anything to put Native Americans first. Make people realize that we are here, we're not going away, our voices are needed in the on the national level of elections, our votes are needed. So change your attitudes. You know, they have to change your attitudes on the national level and start treating us like people. We are people. We care about what happens to our children, our grandchildren, to the future. And when I first ran for senator, I had some of my own tribal members upset with me. Why do you want to go up there? Why do you want to be a state senator? We don't trust the state. They never did anything for us. My answer to them was, I'm going to open their eyes and I'm going to open their ears so they could see who we are and what we have to say. And if it's going to take me to open that door, I'm going to do it. So I went up there. A couple times I called home and told him, I don't even know why I'm up here. Why am I up here? Because I let people talk me into running for that position. And I was even shocked myself when I won. And I went up there, and it was really an experience, a really learning experience for me. I remember when I first got elected, they had all these parties and stuff from the Black Hills Electric Company all over. You get invited, so him and I went. And they were shocked to see us when we walked in. And it was, they really looked at us. What really made me think that this is going to be a tough job is I went up to this couple and I extended my hand, and the woman wouldn't shake my hand. But I left it out there till she did. And I just wanted her to get the message that I'm not a quitter. I'm going to go forward and I'm going to do what I can for our people. And the remark they made to him and I, they said, the bar's over there. You can get your drinks over there. We don't drink. We're recovering from alcohol. And that made me mad, but it also made me realize that this is what I'm going to be up against when I go to Pierre, South Dakota. This is where I'm going to really see the prejudice, the racism. And the first term was a learning experience. All the Native American issues we try to bring up got shot down. No matter, we could have the best introduction, the best presentation on to why we need these bills passed to help our people in education, in health, in child custody, child welfare, all those issues. And yet, everything was knocked down. In the committee level, we were lucky to get our issues on the floor. Very, very lucky to get our issues on the floor. So that's what, and Kevin can attest to that. It's a fighting battle for us, for those that are serving us on the state legislature. We wanted to get on the home improvement programs list again that the state took the tribes off. So we took a simple bill. Tom Van Norman from Cheyenne River and I, he sponsored it and I co-sponsored it, and we took it. And they tore that bill apart. All we said was, put us back on the HIP list. That's all the bill said. They tore it apart. They had all these home builders, everybody come in and just tear our bill apart. And they called it Hog House. They they just tore it apart, and they brought these home builders from the eastern part of the state and just made all these stories on why we shouldn't get this bill passed. Then when it came to the Senate floor, one of the representatives said, she said, do you want to present this bill? Do you want to be the one to present it? So I said, why? All I had was a simple bill to say, put us back on the HIT program, and you tore it all apart. You tore it all apart, and you took the meaning away from it. And you brought all these people in to testify against it, why it shouldn't be passed. That's reality. That's what is happening to Native Americans. Not only on a state level, but on the national level. But I think it's getting a lot better because we got this younger generation that's speaking up, that are proud of who they are. Our people were really humble. They're really humble. They spoke when they were spoken to. They never had a loud voice or got mad. They were taught respect and to be honest. And we still could hold those values. We could still be that way. But we have to be assertive in order to get our Native issues, not only on a state level, but the national level. And the only way we could do that is support from our people. So it's very important that we get as many people as we can to get registered and to vote in this national election. It's scary. It is really scary to think of the Republicans taking over again. They cut so many Indian programs, and yet they're blaming it on this administration. When those cuts happened, their administration, and they're just not implementing them. So this younger generation, I was thinking, maybe we need to get some young entertainers, or, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we could get Justin Bieber down here? Boy, would have them all lined up waiting to register and wanting to vote. And even our Lakota, our native entertainers. And I remember one year, Senator Johnson brought one down. I forgot his name. I even wrote with him. He's an actor. How do we work together? How do we work together to get our people to realize that it's very important that our voice needs to be heard. Our votes need to be counted. He talked about all the different ways they try to keep us away, but it's a slow process, but it's happening. We're becoming stronger and stronger. I never in my life ever dreamed I would be a state senator. Never. And it happened, and I always think I was put there for a reason. And that reason was to start opening their ears and their eyes, to start listening to us, because we're from this state. Our votes count, and they need to start working together. You hear them talking about partnershiping. Why can they not partnership with the tribes? Why can't we look at the issues positively and see how it's going to affect everybody across the state of South Dakota? Why do we always say we don't want the Native Americans and we don't want the minorities? I just heard, seen on the national TV they're going after the immigrants too down Southwest, saying they won't be able to vote because they know that was the biggest voting bloc Obama had. So they're busy thinking up ways to stop the minority. And we need to all come together and start helping each other. I was hoping people would come, even you like your generation. More people would be here. But with you being here, the word's going to get out there, and I know it will. And people will start listening. There's something that in your quality that brought you here tonight. Maybe a few, but it can grow. So I want to thank you for coming here and bringing this to our attention and asking for our assistance, because we're asking for yours. I know when I was in Pierre, boy, they did not like ACLU.
They still don't.
because they were fighting for our rights. They were fighting for the minorities. I said I even had a show at our own caucus. One of the senators made a remark about ACLU. What was her name now? Jennifer, yeah. Yeah, Jennifer. She really had, she's the lobbyist. She really had them going. She had them on their toes, and, you know, she knew her job, and she knew what she was doing, and they didn't like her. And so in caucus, I was going to bring up the issue about child welfare. They were going to sanction our mothers. And so I told them, I said, you know, I said, you don't know about our life on the reservation. You don't know what we go through. A single mother, what little money she gets from the state, she has to decide, do I pay my rent? Do I pay my utilities? Do I buy groceries? You know, they have to think of how they're going to spend that little check in order to keep their children fed, clothed, and housed. And they were trying to sanction them again. And the lobbyists were all talking, and they said if I could persuade the Democratic caucus to go with me to stop that, then, and they didn't believe in me. They didn't believe in me that I could do it, but when we went into our caucus at noon, before we went on the floor, they brought up ACLU, and that's what got me mad. I speak up when I have something to say, and they all listen, and I told them, I said, regardless if you have something against ACLU, you have something against Jennifer, it doesn't belong in this issue that we're dealing with. This is about our Indian children. This is about a family, a home, that none of you in this circle here know what I'm talking about. When we came out of there, we blocked that sanction. When it came to the Senate floor, it got voted down. And I even had opponents on the opposite side cheering and thanking me and stuff. So how they looked at me after that was, she doesn't have much to say, but when she does, people listen. But you know, it's just being that way, being knowing in your heart that you're there to do something, you're there for a purpose, and that something is our people and their welfare. So I hope to see a lot more Native Americans in these positions, running for state legislature. There was even talk when I was in my last 2 terms, did you ever think about governors? I said, don't push me, I barely got here. You know, I'm not thinking about it, but it would be good if one of these days we could have a Native American that's a governor. Then they will be compassionate and caring, and I know they will look after all the people across the state of South Dakota, not just certain ones, but everybody as a whole. So I really want to thank you for the things you are doing and bringing awareness. But we as a people, we need to start working among ourselves and start getting to the younger generation to get out there, register, and vote. I'm going to take my 2 grandsons tomorrow to make sure they're registered so they can vote in the national election. And I hope you talk to other people in your families and your communities that this is what we need to do. We had a fight for early voting too in Pine Ridge last administration. I had to go up to Hot Springs and argue with those commissioners up there that we're just as good as everybody else to have early voting. And we won. And that's how it could happen, is if we all stick together. So I'm talking too much, so thank you. And you know, this is really good. I'm really thankful that you're here. And it's a younger generation that's going to put us out there, so they need to get involved. Thank you.